YouTube, baby. It's time to ride the funk train. This is Funkmaster V, and I'd like to introduce myself to you new characters in the year 2024 who may not know me. For the last 20-something years, I've written game reviews, news blurbs, editorials, and articles about the Atari 7800 Pro system. Isn't she lovely? And occasionally, I would get a wild hair and make a zany article, something like the top 10 homeliest Atari 7800 heroes, or Spaceship Fashion Show, or my thoughts on combining Popeye and Donkey Kong. See, stuff that's just kind of unconventional. This is going to be one of those. We're kicking the year off with a weird article about laminated comic strips and V61's.
Hola, childs. It's time for Funkmaster V's Getting Hip with the Atari 7800, where Funkmaster V, musician, ghost hunter, hat flipper, pro wrestler, and comedian, takes you on a tour of all things cool about the Atari 7800. Are you ready to get your groove on? Because it's about to get funky up in here.
So for those of you who are unaware, this is what an Atari game looked like back in the 80s. For the most part, every one of the Atari releases, for the most part, looked like this, came in a box like this. And then homebrew people did the same thing. They mimicked it. See? Same size, same color. And now the homebrew people are coming out with newer and more creative looking boxes. I kind of prefer the silver myself, but what are you going to do? Now, V61's has been making video games for a few years now, and they've made 5 Atari 7800 games. They've made more computer games than 5200 games, but they're starting to catch up with the 7800 jive. Now, this is what their boxes look like. They're economy based here. These games are about $20 cheaper than these games, and yeah, they're just what they are. They're in a white box, no harm, no foul. But what you may, in your brain, sit there and go, how do you get a game manual folded up like this? Well, you could take it like a piece of napkin and just wad it up and put it in there. But no. Peter and Lance would not do that. They're too cool for that. So what they have done is they've created instruction laminated sheets, and then on the other side they have comic strips. And today we will rank these comic strips based on quality of art, the logic of the story presented, and whether or not the story has anything to do with the actual video game. So those 3 criteria, and we will start off with the first game they ever released. We're talking about Putt 18 Miniature Golf. And what this is going to look like is I'm going to look like an elderly grandfather with a lot of time on his hands, and you're going to be a little sick boy in bed who was just playing hardball on the Atari XE. So here we go. First panel, a summer afternoon. Ah, what a nice day. Second panel, what should I do today? Says somebody with giant 3 toes. Looks like, I don't know, a scene out of Big Lebowski. Third panel, I feel like playing some golf. There's a thermos full of golf clubs. The fourth panel, I don't want to be gone all day. It's 12 o'clock. Makes me wonder if the clock itself is actually portraying the real time, or if he just, the power went out and he never reset it. Fifth panel, then an idea. I got it. Then the last panel, later, on the road, Putt 18, miniature golf, next exit. I will go to my favorite mini golf course, Putt 18, to be continued. You gotta love the tense cliffhanger there. So, my problem with this comic is that no golfer in the world, and I'm talking about a real golfer, would sit there and look at a clock and see that it's 12 o'clock and then go, you know what, I'm not going to play golf. I'm going to go play mini golf. Now, there's a thing you can go to called a pitch and putt where you can work on your short game. You can go to a driving range, but you're not going to go, no golfer in the history of the universe is going to go play miniature golf. Other than that, it makes sense, kind of makes sense, and the artwork is, it's hit and miss there, but that was Putt 18. We'll rank it later. the next release. The next release is Venture, and they didn't include a comic strip with this one, and it's kind of disappointing. You do have this, he kind of looks like a Native American with a saber, cutting up some snakes there, green giant snakes, and he's wearing the superhero swashbuckling boots. The good part is that we're not reading a bad comic strip, but the bad part, and this isn't V61's fault because this is the actual artwork that was on the arcade cabinet, Venture features the worst looking protagonist in the history of video games. It is a smiley face with a bow and arrow. It's terrible looking. I do think there are green snakes in the game. They're snakes of some ilk. I don't know what color. But if they're wearing the old New York Jets green today on the last game of the year, thank God. But this does not. And the guy's an archer in Venture. He's not a warrior. So that one's kind of rough too. And we're gonna do Animal Catcher, which is their take on Zookeeper. I'm sorry, Animal Keeper. And it's their take on Zookeeper. And I like this game pretty well. All right. We're going to resume Peter Falk here. All right, panel 1, Zoology, the science of or branch of biology dealing with animals. See, so they're educating us now. They're already up in their game. Panel 2, oh, those stick figures say otherwise. At age 4, your parents took you to a zoo. You fell in love with the zoo and were determined to make this your life's work. You had plans as a kid. You had goals, man. Panel 3. Uh-oh. Looks like your goals was finishing first in a couple hot dog eating contests. As soon as you graduated from high school, you went straight to college and graduated top of the class. You can tell not a lot of social life from this character. All right, panel number 4 is a giant question mark here. The Riddler's coming in. You were immediately hired by the zoo you went to when you were 4 years old. Oh no, there's a deep, dark secret at the zoo. I wonder if it's split. Do you see that M. Night Shyamalan, my Ding Dong movie? Panel 5, the zoo is run by a greedy CEO who has overpaid himself to the point that the animals are uncared for and their habitats are falling apart. I wonder why he didn't buy a toupee. And the final panel, panel number 6. From day one at your job, you found out that it's impossible to practice your craft of zoology, and you have been reduced to animal keeper, which I didn't know was a rank in the zoo, but apparently it is. Now, the artwork is not too bad on this, besides the stick figure animals in the second panel here. It's not too bad. And it looks like you slimmed down since college, so that's good too. And it makes sense. If you play Zookeeper or Animal Keeper, it is insane. The animals are going nuts. Maybe they're starving. Maybe you should let them go. Actually, reading this comic, maybe we should let these animals out of the zoo. But yeah, it's pretty chaotic. The only thing that doesn't really make sense is that in Animal Keeper and Zookeeper, there is a bonus screen that's like Donkey Kong, where your girlfriend is up high and you have to get over the animals to go save her. Why would the animals be doing that, especially if you're the only one caring for them? I don't know. You know, we'll let that slide. That's not too bad. All right, what's next? We're looking at the funnies for Delta Space Arena. Panel 1. It's the year 2314 on Earth Colony Delta Omega 7. All right, panel number 2. Welcome to the Great Galactic Turkey Shoot. What? Panel number 3. You will be battling humankind's greatest drones. We kept our technology and manufacturing, making us more invincible than ever before. I'm struggling with what that meant. We kept our technology. Okay. Panel number 4 is just a symbol for radiation. This is a battle against some of the most lethal drones programmed by man. Apparently they're radioactive. Panel number 5. Oh, there's a tomato right there. Look at her. I'm calling dibs. This exercise is to train you to be warriors that Earth relies on. Now, wait a minute. I didn't know we were around Earth. I thought we were on a colony far away, and I just assumed the planet died by this point. The last panel, to protect Earth from swarms of alien-controlled megaoids. What? See, the problem with Omega Race and Alpha Race and all the versions of Omega Race is all the instructions and every time, like everything on the arcade board and everything like that, they tell you this is some sort of like a training exercise, and you're going around circles shooting ships. Now, every space game I've ever played, you don't go around a track like we're playing Indy 500 on the Atari 2600. So I don't know what it's really training us for. And the last panel drops this mega truth about megaoids and aliens controlling them. Who knows? I'd love to play the sequel to this where you actually go out and fight the things we're training for. So again, Delta Space Arena, Omega Race, just weird games. And here's the final comic, and then we'll rank them all. This is the comic for the newly reviewed Nova Wolf, which just was basically Solar Fox. So here we go. Panel number 1. Humankind has perpetrated the galaxy far deeper than imagined. That's about 37% hotter than they probably intended. Panel 2. We knew we were going to meet resistance, and we did. All right, that's a fancy looking ship there. A furious battle ensued. The Nova class ships performed excellent and survived. Good. Panel 4. But it is required that we go back to base to update and retrofit the Nova class systems. And that looks like a poisonous mushroom or a male member with a cock ring. Panel 5. We just received messages from the aliens saying, don't come back. We promise you a battle we can't win. Well, we just kicked their ass. This is bluffing and poker. And I don't know why we'd have to go back and change anything. We did very well. And the last panel, the Nova class ships have been refitted. The crew is healthy, and we're going back. I don't know why we're going back. I don't know really what's happening. But hey, what are you gonna do? This doesn't really look like the game Nova Wolf, because Nova Wolf is really a Pac-Man game, and we're gobbling up pellets. I don't know if they're plasma pellets or canisters of space fuel or supplies, or the game is just weird and we're just trying to pull something out of our ass. But this doesn't really, I don't know, this really doesn't fly. All right, so let's rank these. Without further ado, the number 1 Atari 7800 Video 61 laminated comic strip instruction sheet goes to Animal Keeper. That's the best. Number 2, Putt 18 miniature golf. Even though no golfer would go play miniature golf, it makes some sense there. Number 3, these are all pretty bad now. Delta Space Arena. It's got a chick on it. Number 4 is Venture, which is not a comic strip, but it doesn't outright completely suck. And the worst one is got to be Nova Wolf, because none of that makes any sort of sense. And I think they're ribbing us by putting a penis on this thing. Well, there you have it. I know that was a raging debate that we just settled right there. You guys can sleep well at night, and the economy will be okay tomorrow. Well, this Friday, John and I are having an award show, an Atari award show on the Atari Network podcast. That's going to be at 7:30 on this channel. So make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, make sure you hit notify, and you can watch as we do the show, and you can participate in the chat, and we love that. And if you want to cut the line, give John a super chat there and give him a couple bucks, and we will stop what we're doing and we will read what you wrote on the air. Bada boom, bada bing, right then and right there. Don't forget about our movies. We're Big and Funky Productions, making 6 horror comedies about the Appalachian South. Also, Wrestling with Ghosts and Great American Wrestling. We're going to be doing something on our channel every Friday on Big and Funky Fridays. We're going to be doing something paranormal, pro wrestling, movies, comedy, video games, Atari. We don't know what's going to happen, but something on Friday is going to happen and you're going to like it. Make sure you like and subscribe. Let's beat the algorithm. Our channel is so bizarre that we hardly get any traction, and we need brute force to drag us along the finish line. Also, don't forget, Atari7800forever.com. Hell of a website for those that still believe in those things. Go Jets. Take care. Bada boom, bada bing, bada boom.